Welcome to In the Spotlight, a regular podcast from the Witnam, Barnard Castle's Community Arts Centre.
Hello and welcome along once again to the Witnam Community Arts Centre here in Barnard Castle, County Durham. Stuart Laundy with another episode of In the Spotlight, our weekly podcast which drops every Friday. Special guest this week is actor Liz Grant, who's returning to the Witnam, this time with her play Where is Mrs Christie? The mystery of Agatha Christie's 11 Lost Days. Should be very interesting, that one. And a bit later on, Jane Woodward will be along to give us a rundown of what's coming up at the Witnam, including news of a special gig featuring Huey Morgan of the Fun Lovin Criminals. He'll be coming to the Witnam in November. But first, here he is, the old Fun Lovin Criminal himself. Yes, full details of Fun Lovin Criminals evening coming up a bit later. But first to this week's special guest, who is actor Liz Grant. She's no stranger to the Witnam. She's been here several times, and she's coming back on Thursday, February the 8th, with Where is Mrs Christie? The mystery of Agatha Christie's 11 Lost Days. I caught up with her a couple of days ago to chat about the play.
Hi, this is Stacey from the CAF, and you're listening to In the Spotlight, the Witham's podcast.
So making a second return to the Witnam this winter is actress Liz Grant, and this time she's bringing with her Agatha Christie for a play called Where is Mrs Christie? The mystery of Agatha Christie's 11 Lost Days. Liz, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Stuart. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's actually not too long since we saw you when you brought Enid Blyton to life. So we're talking Agatha Christie now, and this is quite a well-known story, isn't it, this one?
It is, yes. Yeah. Agatha Christie went missing for 11 days in 1926. And there's a lot of speculation about what happened during those 11 days. She maintained that she lost her memory and couldn't remember what had happened at all. But there's a lot of evidence to indicate that that wasn't the case, and that actually she was quite aware of what was happening. But whatever her motives were for doing it, it sparked a huge manhunt for her, and it affected her life for the rest of her life, really. And it's just interesting to explore that.
It fascinates me incredibly that probably the greatest mystery writer of all time, we're talking about a mystery involving her nearly 100 years after it happened. So,
absolutely,
it kind of says something for that. I remember the film. I think Dustin Hoffman was in a film
Vanessa
about
Redgrave.
That's it,
Yes.
which I haven't seen for decades. So, is this play, is this based on the film, or is this totally separate, or is it a different interpretation?
Yeah, it's a completely different interpretation. I mean, the film was absolutely completely fictional.
It just shows how long it is since I've seen it.
I mean, the film is based on the fact that she went to Harrogate, but the reasons for that are completely fictional. There is no evidence to support that film at all. But nevertheless, it's still a good movie. No, this is more sort of looking at the facts of what we know about her disappearance, but also looking at why she did it and why she carried on doing it. Because the interesting thing is that when she left her home and in effect disappeared, it was following an argument with her husband, who was having an affair with somebody at the time. And it was a sort of storming off kind of thing. And I think that she did that to spite him a little bit. But the interesting thing was that when they started to look for her, she then just let it ride, and that was her downfall, really. If she'd contacted somebody and said, "Hey, look, I'm okay, but I just need to be left alone for a bit," then that would have been fine. But the fact that she let this manhunt go on, and I think that she did that because she couldn't resist it. She couldn't resist the idea that she wanted to see how it played out. The mystery writer in her was just too strong, and she just wanted to see what would happen and where it would go. And that backfired on her massively because it affected her for the rest of her life. She became a virtual recluse for the period after that, which is very sad, really, in some ways, that one thing can then sort of lead to that. And the other interesting thing was that it sort of mirrors the press and media frenzies that we see today. But for her, she was one of the first people who wasn't protected by anybody. So if you were a title person, if you're a member of royalty, you were protected a bit from the press. They couldn't print just what they wanted. But she wasn't. She was outside that circle, and you didn't have press managers or people who would look after you in those days. And so she was completely exposed. So it was the first time that we'd seen that sort of media frenzy around one person, really.
It strikes me it would be a difficult thing to do today, given that we all carry phones, social media, and 24-hour rolling news, that sort of thing. I think it would be very difficult for somebody to just disappear like she did all those years ago, and that's probably why we're still fascinated by it.
I think so, but I mean, although we say she disappeared, she was spotted. The difference was that nobody reported it. So where she was
that
staying,
would definitely never happen today.
Exactly, where she was staying in Harrogate was a high-class hotel that was used to hosting very famous and rich people from the aristocracy who wanted some privacy. And so it was, she had that sort of built-in advantage, really, that people did recognize her, people did spot her, but they didn't report it because it was discretion was all. They didn't take it any further. And it wasn't until the build-up had been so much that she was starting to get recognized that somebody then did report it to the police, and that's how they discovered that she was in Harrogate. But there's a lot of evidence to say that people knew she was there, and that she was behaving completely normally, that she wasn't showing any sort of signs of amnesia or anything, which is what she claimed she'd got.
Sorry, so without giving too much away, is the play presented as a mystery? Is it presented as a sort of documentary of what happened, or do you set out to solve the mystery of a disappearance?
I think we put forward the most logical theory of what happened, but it's more about the lead up to it, why she took the actions that she did, what her personal motivation for that was. That our best guess at our personal motivation for it, and the effect that it had on her. And whatever your personal feelings about the situation, you get to the point when nobody really deserves that. Nobody really deserves to be in that situation, to be affected that badly. And so I think there is some sympathy to be had with the character as well, because we're all entitled to make the odd mistake. And it was just a bad judgment call on her part, really, but that led to an effect that affected her for the rest of her life.
It sounds fascinating. Thanks, Liz. And we'll remind listeners that Where is Mrs Christie? The Mystery of Agatha Christie's 11 Lost Days comes to the Witham on Thursday, February the 8th. And we say thanks very much for Liz, and we can't wait for this one.
Thanks, Stuart.
And a quick reminder that you can get tickets for Where is Mrs Christie? The Mystery of Agatha Christie's 11 Lost Days on Thursday, February the 8th from the Witham box office. Call 01833 631107 or go online to thewitham.org.uk.
Hi, this is Sheila.
Hi, this is Jim.
And we're volunteers, and
You're listening to
In the Spotlight, the Withams podcast.
So here's Jane once again for a look at what's coming up at the Witham. And I have to be honest, Jane, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is.
Tell you what, it's flown over, hasn't it, since last week?
Absolutely. Now, I have to say that when I think Fun Lovin Criminals and Huey Morgan, your face springs to mind immediately. You must be a big fan.
No, not really. It's not my kind of music, Stuart.
I'm not too surprised, I'll be perfectly honest. Anyway, tell us about Huey Morgan of the Fun Lovin Criminals and explain how he comes to be coming to the Witham on Thursday, November the 14th.
Right. Well, first of all, we should say that sad news that Steve Harley has had to cancel his entire 2024 tour due to ill health, which is why we've got a replacement gig on that night, Thursday the 14th of November. Huey Morgan, Fun Lovin Criminal. The Fun Lovin Criminal is what it's called. That's what the tour is called.
The Fun Lovin Criminal.
Yes.
And that was the title of the song that we played earlier on as well. I don't just throw this together, you know.
I know you don't. There's a lot of preparation that goes into this.
So tell me what Huey Morgan's going to be doing here.
He is going to be mixing music and chat.
Oh, it's another one of those.
A solo tour. You can get up close and personal.
I was going to say we're going to start talking intimacy again here, like we did last week, aren't we? Up close and personal.
Up close and personal with Huey Morgan, who, of course, was the driving force and frontman of American rock outfit Fun Lovin Criminals. And he led the band from 1993 to 2021, as recent as that.
Absolutely. Oh, they were going a long while. I suspect they're still going in some shape or form. Anyway, the bits I've seen of Huey Morgan, he crops up on TV documentaries, music documentaries, and he's quite entertaining. So it should be an entertaining evening, I would suggest.
Well, he presents a radio show, BBC Radio 6.
Yeah?
He's presented a show since 2008.
Yeah. They all have plenty of strings to the bows to these pop starry types.
Yeah, so we've got standard tickets available. We've also got a limited amount of tickets, 40 meet and greet tickets as well.
I know you go wild for a meet and greet. You'll be at the head of the queue.
Not for this one, I don't think so, Stuart. But I know there will be many fans out there who will want to get up close and personal with Huey Morgan.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Excellent stuff. So that's November. Let's get back to next week and a busy old time. On Tuesday, we have last week's podcast guest. Put my teeth in and say that properly. Janie Godley, Tuesday the 6th, to come and raise a laugh or two with us.
Yes, that's part of her Not Dead Yet tour. And tickets are only available from Funny Way to Be Comedy.
Right, okie dokie. And that's Tuesday. So Wednesday, we've got the big screen up.
We have for another live screening direct from the Royal Opera House, and it's ballet this time. It's Manon. Starts at 7:15.
Very good. Thursday, of course, is Mrs Christie, and that was that features this week's guest, Liz Grand, who we've just heard from.
Yep.
So moving on to Friday, and it's Kaylee time.
It is. So we'll have the dance floor out. And we've got the Rosin Band Kaylee Band, who are from Yorkshire. And they are apparently a firm fixture at Whitby Folk Week. They're very well known in the area. And Barry Evans, who is their caller, will be calling for all sorts of abilities. So you don't have to be a good Kaylee dancer. If you just want to come along and try it, or come along and watch and listen to the music.
Would it surprise you to know that a bit like you with the Fun Lovin Criminals, me and Kaylee's sort of have the same kind of relationship?
I can't really see you dancing in the Kaylee Stewart. No. But how about some soul and Motown the following night?
Well, that's more my sort of thing.
Yes.
I'll be perfectly honest. I'm looking forward to Soul Junction. I think they'll be good.
They are. So they're coming on Saturday, the 10th of February, at 7-piece from Penrith.
Just over the top there.
Yeah. And there'll be a dance floor again, and they'll be playing soul and Motown music.
Should be a good night, that one.
It will.
But if you fancy some music of a different sort the same evening...
Yes, upstairs in the Witham room, because it's now kitted out as a proper music space for more intimate gigs. We've got Andy Yeadon and Paul Hughes up there, so local artists. I think they've written some new material.
Yeah, because Andy's band About the Humans is currently on hiatus.
Yes.
On account of a couple of the members are on maternity leave.
Yes. So they've gone solo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a duo in this case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Paul and Andy are brilliant.
Yeah, they are.
Seen them many times. Great
So how
stuff.
will people choose?
Well, you could perhaps go from one to the other and back again.
You could, yes, you could.
You know.
But anyway, there's lots of choice, lots of things happening.
Absolutely. So, Janie Godley notwithstanding, where can we find tickets for all this lot?
By calling the box office.
Go on.
On 01833 631107.
Or we can go online.
www.thewitham.org.uk.
Marvellous stuff. Jane, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
You will. Bye, Stuart.
Hello. And that's just about it from Jane and me this week. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back with another podcast soon. We'll leave you this week with a heads up of a gig that's happening on Friday, the 16th of February. We've got Eddie and the Hotrods. They're bringing their Guardians of the Legacy tour to the Witham. We'll leave you with a track. This is in fact called Guardians of the Legacy, and we'll see you next time. Ta-da.
And I don't wanna cry. I never thought that you'd say goodbye. When some mist came in and you clouded me, but you were you proud.
Thanks for listening to In the Spotlight from the Witham, Barnard Castle's Community Arts Centre. Available on all major podcast platforms. So please give us a follow and leave a comment. Or listen online at www.thewitham.org.uk. We'll be back soon with another episode.